for joining us for Discover NAU. I am grateful for this opportunity to speak with you about becoming part of the Lumberjack family. As you explore educational opportunities, we recognize that you have many choices, and so I want to thank you for considering NAU. Our number one focus is on your success. We offer a unique educational experience centered on your individual passions, ambitions, and preferences. At NAU, you are part of a close-knit community that provides academic and social experiences that will help you discover who you are and what direction you want your life to take. You will also enjoy the beauty of this region and the community of Flagstaff, ranked as one of the top college towns in the country with a great quality of life. We hope that what you learn today will inspire you to bring your aspirations to NAU. Enjoy today's program and go Lumberjacks!
Good morning and welcome to Discover NAU. Thanks for joining us for another virtual Discover NAU. We had a couple of those this spring. Excited that we're able to join all of you joining us from around the country and around the world to learn more about NAU today. My name is Chad Eichhoff. I serve as Director of Admissions here at Northern Arizona University, and I'm joined by my colleague Annika.
Good morning. My name is Annika Olson, and I serve as the Vice President for Enrollment Management here at Northern Arizona University. Certainly, back to school has never looked like it does today. We know for you seniors and other high schoolers joining us this morning, and you parents, so many adjustments have had to be made. We've adjusted here on campus as well, and you can see some of those listed on the screen. We've changed dining and housing to make sure that students stay safe, socially distancing. All masks are required on campus, and our academics look a little different as well, with changing the capacity in many of our academic classrooms. Our NAU Flex technology and the amazing faculty here have adjusted to make sure they're delivering the high-quality academic experience our students have come to expect. So lots of things look different. Many of the pictures and videos we're going to share with you today were taken pre-pandemic. Never fear, we are practicing social distancing and mask wearing throughout campus, although not all of our video and pictures may show that. So I did want to make mention of that. We also appreciate you joining us virtually for this Discover NAU, or as we like to call it, DNAU, to learn more about what our campus has to offer. Chad's going to get us started with sharing a little bit about our academic structure here at NAU.
And when we talk about fit at an institution, and really I think Discover NAU is about figuring out if NAU is that right fit for you, there's kind of three types of fit you should be looking for. Academic fit, which we're going to start talking about academics first. Then we're going to jump into some things to help you determine social fit, if NAU is the right social fit for you. And then lastly, financial fit is what we'll be looking at. So those are kind of three types of fit that you as a student, you as a family should be considering. Starting off with the academic piece of things, we pride ourselves on trying to keep that class size small, that student to faculty ratio, keep that small as well too, and really individual attention and relationships with students and faculty throughout their educational experience. We have 9 different academic colleges, one of those being our graduate college, which we aren't going to be focusing on specifically today, but we will take a quick look at each of those other 8 academic colleges where your nearly 100 undergraduate programs could fall under. To explore that full list, you can certainly visit our catalog on the website and find all of our degree programs there, but we're going to give you kind of a high-level view to understand how that all breaks down. I should also mention the One NAU component. NAU does have sites throughout the state of Arizona, as well as online programs as well too. And when we had to shift gears this spring with the pandemic, we were able to quickly adapt to the online method because we've been doing online education for a very long time. So we're going to dive into the colleges and start with our College of Arts and Letters.
Great, thanks, Chad. So one thing to make mention of before we jump into all the colleges is to understand as a student here, you will be taking classes in probably almost every college through our liberal studies requirements. So although your major may not be listed in this first College of Arts and Letters, you most likely will be taking at least one or a small handful of classes in this college. The College of Arts and Letters is one that houses the traditional college majors from philosophy, history, and English. It also houses our performing arts, theater, and music, as well as art, with students displaying their artwork throughout numerous galleries around campus. Let's go ahead and listen to a student in the College of Arts and Letters in music education.
In the College of Arts and Letters, specifically being a music education major, you have a lot of opportunities to be in music ensembles, and that would include orchestra, band, and choirs. And something really cool about that is if you audition, you can get a lot of scholarship money for just being in them.
So great to hear from some of our students, and we're going to be bouncing around to some videos so you really get the flavor of what being a student at each of these colleges is like. So let's head over to Chad to talk to us about our next college, the College of Education.
Yeah, our College of Education, certainly a point of pride for us here at NAU. We were founded as Arizona's Teachers College, and to this day, graduate a lot of teachers. We have CAPE accreditation, which we are the first and only institution in the state of Arizona that has that highly prestigious CAPE accreditation. Really pride ourselves on trying to get students in the classroom early on, working with students. But again, we want to let you hear from one of our students. So we're going to hear from Cameron, one of our College of Education students.
So the first thing I did was I joined an intramural soccer team because I've played soccer since I was 3 years old, played competitively in high school, and I wanted to keep that going. I wanted to stay fit in a way that I enjoyed, and that is soccer. Up here, everybody wants to learn, everybody is excited to learn what they're studying, and then it's just a whole different atmosphere because people can just dive deep into their studies and be passionate about what they're doing because they're choosing their path, they're choosing what's going to happen for them down the road, and it just makes the environment completely different. So I am an elementary education major with a concentration in foreign language, and my biggest goal in life is to make an impact, and I think teachers are some of the most influential people in a child's life, and they really do make that impact. And in the terms of going into foreign language, when you work in underprivileged schools, a lot of parents from Spanish-speaking homes cannot speak English, so having that second language is going to be really beneficial when it comes to parent-teacher conferences and things like that. And not only can I make an impact on the students, I can make an impact on their parents too. So I'm taking a class right now, ESC 280, which is a class that talks about students with special needs. And I grew up with a cousin who had Down syndrome, and he was like my best friend growing up. So learning how to work with those kids in schools is going to be really eye-opening to me because I know how to do it on a social aspect, and it might be different because he's family, but learning how to do that on a professional kind of level is going to be really important for me, and I'm really excited to get into my practicum next semester or next year, and I can't wait to like put everything I'm learning into like action and see if this really is the right fit for me.
So great to hear from Cameron. I always love watching his video, and especially that beginning when he's out playing soccer there on the south fields. Our next college is the College of Engineering, Informatics, and Applied Science. That just rolls off the tongue.
Kiosk, I think we try to say.
Kiosk, yes. So a number of different opportunities for students from day one to really enjoy hands-on learning, taking what they apply and learn in the classroom and using it as they're using that design for practice that all the engineering classes enjoy. Certainly, informatics, computing, and cyber systems is an up-and-coming field and has been for a number of years. And our department and college really has so many great opportunities, internships for students to enjoy. Again, to take what they've learned in the classroom and really apply it. Let's go ahead and hear from Cato on his experience in this college.
Hi there, my name's Cato with the College of Engineering, Informatics, and Applied Sciences. Most of the programs within this college are ABET accredited, so the curriculum itself is very hands-on. The professors are very engaging with their students, and you can tell that they want them to succeed. I'm just very blessed to be a part of such a great college.
This is a great time to tell you, if you have questions you would like us to ask students during that panel, we're going to have a couple students joining us. If you could email admissions@nau.edu with that question, and we'll be collecting some of those and looking at those and then asking students those questions later on. So again, admissions@nau.edu if you have questions. So next up is our College of the Environment, Forestry, and Natural Sciences. CEFINS is the acronym that we make that into. And forestry is one I want to draw your attention to. We do have the only forestry program in the state of Arizona, potentially the only forest, debatable there. And we have, because of that, a large university-owned forest where our students are out getting that hands-on experience. One of our other very large programs that we have here on campus is biomedical sciences. And we're going to have the opportunity to hear from Danielle next now, one of our biomedical science students. So let's hear from Danielle.
Hi, so my name is Danielle. I'm from Mesa, Arizona. I'm a junior this year, and I'm majoring in biomedical sciences, and I'm double minoring in chemistry and sociology, and I'm also a student in the Honors College. So I do volunteer at the Flagstaff Medical Center in the emergency department. It's mainly comprised of just stocking like the IV cards, patient rooms, interacting with patients as well. And from those experiences, I've learned how triage works essentially. So when a patient is first admitted into the hospital, how they're assessed and how certain patients are ranked higher in terms of when the physician will see them. I've learned that whole process, which is great. And there's also opportunities to shadow the physicians at the hospital as well. So I've done that numerous times. I've shadowed multiple physicians, and I've seen patients that have cancer, some people that just come in for cardiac problems, and I get to see how they're assessed by the physician, what steps they take after that, how the physicians refer them to other specialties. And that's just really opened up my eyes, and it's a great way to put my foot into the door as I am interested in becoming an emergency room physician myself. And then I also do research here with bioinformatics, mainly looking at the TP53 gene in mammals and investigating that with cancer in mammals and humans. I do take a lot of credits every semester, and then I also do a lot of off-site involvements, and on top of that, I am studying for the MCAT exam for medical school. But for de-stressing, I love to play with all three of my cats. And then I also just do small things that I enjoy. So just like playing the violin or reading for like 20 minutes every single night, and just like enjoying that like small little bit of time, and then I can get back to my priorities and focus on school again.
Next is our College of Health and Human Services, and certainly now more than ever, this college is highlighted. I would also like to take a minute to shout out to all of our healthcare workers in our own community as well as communities around the country. Your tireless work during this pandemic is certainly not taken for granted. Our College of Health and Human Services has two competitive programs, both nursing and dental hygiene, and other popular programs such as public health and health sciences, just to name a few. Let's go ahead and hear from Alyssa, who's one of our bright stars in the nursing program.
NAU made me feel really at home whenever I connected with this girl down my hall. We were both living in McConnell at the time, and she was like 2 doors away from me, and we had a hall like dinner at the Dubai Center. So we all went, and she was wearing a cheer jacket, like her old high school cheer jacket, and I was like, oh my god, I cheered, and she was like, I cheered, and so then we connected off of, we both cheered, and we established like a friendship. We were both kind of like scared to go out of our comfort zone and scared to meet new people, but we encouraged encourage each other to like go and find new friends and go sit next to people and go to like SI sessions and go to the running of the freshmen, which is really fun. I remember me and her both were super nervous because we were not ready to run a football field. I feel like the adrenaline rush and just sitting down in the stands and like feeling like this is what a college football game feels like, and like kind of feeling like this is NAU. This is going to be where I'm living for the next 4 years. So I think at that moment was like very breathtaking for me. The class that I took that really intrigued me into public health and why I wanted to go this direction was Anatomy 202, and that's the physiology of the human body. So the digestive system, the respiratory system, the cardiovascular system, and I was just so intrigued by like all of our systems in our body and how they connect and work as one. And it just intrigued me to be like all of our body works in different ways and no one's going to be the same. Like all of our bodies are different, but we have one core function. Like the cardiovascular system's pretty much similar to everyone. I don't know, I just like, NAU just has like this special like feel to it. Like everywhere I go on campus, like I can feel like I'm connected to someone. If it's like the Chick-fil-A worker or like walking into like the math lab, like I feel like they're eager that I'm there and that like, how can I help you, or that kind of feel.
Thank you, Alyssa. Next up, our College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Lots of very people-focused majors: psychology, sociology, anthropology, all are going to be within the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences.
Theology school.
The ologies, yes, all of the ologies. Also, within there is going to be the communication focused thing. So our School of Communication falls under the umbrella of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. So student-run newspaper, student-run radio, student-run television. We're in a television studio right now here on campus. So we're going to have the opportunity to hear now from one of our students who decided on a major within the School of Communications under the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. So here's Carrington.
When I started applying for colleges, I was set on staying in California, and my aunt was like, oh, you should check out this school called NAU. I looked at the website and I automatically fell in love with the school based on the website. I don't know what it was, but I signed up for a tour and I came to visit the school, and that just made me want to come here even more. And yeah, I came to NAU. So originally I was a public health major. I ended up switching to comm, and that was the perfect major for me, because if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have found my internship, which I love. I interned with NAU Social, and it's basically, we help run as interns the social media for the school. And we get to go to a lot of events, and we get to get content, and sometimes I get to write blogs, which is fun. That's my favorite part. And it's a little family that I got on campus. So definitely don't limit yourself. If anything, like even if you're like me, set on not, or if you were like me, set on not going to school out of state, at least apply, because you never know, you could change your mind. And also, when you do get to school, to just enjoy every minute of it, because it does go by really fast.
Next is the W.A. Franke College of Business. And our College of Business houses our traditional business majors such as marketing, management, and economics. In addition, it houses our very highly ranked School of Hotel and Restaurant Management. You can see some of those bragged rankings there on the screen. And one of the things that is absolutely one of my favorite things to do on campus is to head over to the HRM school and look at what's being cooked up in that test kitchen, from scones to scones, and my favorite food, scones. No, just so many opportunities for students, even out of this college, to interact and learn. Students in this college get hands-on experience through our Student Management Investment Fund, internships with key leaders in the business community around the state, and of course that hands-on experience in the School of HRM with our very own conference center in collaboration with the City of Flagstaff here on the north part of the Flagstaff campus. So tremendous opportunities for students here. Let's go ahead and listen to a bit more about the Franke College of Business from AJ.
I've absolutely loved my almost 4 years in the College of Business so far. I think the business ones specifically promote an environment of professionalism, which is very helpful in the field of business. My favorite class in my major was Management 340, which is titled Business Ethics. I just found it fascinating how they were able to combine a business class with a philosophy class, and it was a class that was almost completely based on discussion because there was no right answer to some situations. So it was just kind of getting to the resolution of what would be the best for most people, and that's what you'd have to do as a manager. Kind of have to look out for your team and your company as a whole, and I think it's good to practice those. It's just so much fun being around the same people and getting to know them and knowing that you're all striving towards the same goal.
Last but not least of the 8 colleges that we're going to talk about today is our Honors College. And who better to tell you about our Honors College than the Dean of the Honors College? So I'm going to throw it over to Dean Gustafson to hear more about the Honors College.
Hi, my name is Kevin Gustafson. I'm the Dean of the NAU Honors College, and I'm here to invite you to a great academic opportunity here at Northern Arizona University. The NAU Honors College is the small college experience in the middle of a big, bustling research university. 2 main features distinguish our innovative curriculum. One is our approach to liberal studies or general education requirements. Instead of taking large introductory lecture courses in various disciplines, students in the Honors College earn liberal studies credits through taking small, discussion-based interdisciplinary seminars on topics ranging from mystery of the brain to culture, race, and democracy to Harry Potter to Game of Thrones. All students at NAU take a 3-credit capstone in their major. Honors students take a 6-credit capstone. And we encourage students to really think outside the box, to use these projects to meet a specific personal, academic, or professional goal. Some students will do work in their major, other students do something completely different. They may be an engineer by training, but they have a passion for painting. It's a chance for honors students to have a truly individualized educational experience, one that is geared to meeting their personal, professional, or academic goals. The other pride of the Honors College is our brand new Living Learning community, which opened in August of 2018. The Honors Residential College has, on the academic side, has 7 state-of-the-art classrooms. It has honors advising, a writing center, faculty office, administrative offices, all the things you need to have a truly supportive academic community. The residential side has housing for 620 students with 2 different types of rooms. A standard double room has 2 beds, 2 workspaces, but each double room has its own bathroom in it. The other floor plan has 2 entrances, 2 single rooms with a shared bathroom in between. So if you are the kind of student who appreciates small classes with invigorating discussions, who wants a truly individualized educational experience, who appreciates being pushed but also supported as you meet your personal and professional ambitions, then I hope you'll join us at the NAU Honors College. Thank you.
I absolutely love hearing Dean Gustafson talk about the Honors College. You can just hear how passionate he is about honors education here at NAU and the experience that we're giving our students. One experience that I want to plug and talk about, that it's a personal regret of mine that I didn't take advantage of a study abroad experience, is studying abroad. I want to really encourage students to take advantage of study abroad opportunities, and NAU does a great job with study abroad. You can study abroad all around the world, lots of opportunities for that. One program I particularly want to draw your attention to is the Interdisciplinary Global Program, IGP, and with that, it's a 5-year program, and you end up with 2 degrees and spend 1 year abroad. So it's either gonna be a business degree or a STEM degree mixed with a language. So for instance, maybe business and Spanish, and you spend a year abroad in Spain immersing yourself in the culture and in the language. Also, our National Student Exchange, We've got partnerships with institutions around the United States and Canada where you could go there for a semester and maybe check out a potential grad school spot or a city you might want to live in when you complete your degree. But that's enough me talking about it. I want you to see some of the experience that our students have. So let's take a look at this video.
Well, if that video doesn't give you the travel bug, and also one of my greatest regrets of my undergraduate career is not taking advantage of those studying elsewhere opportunities. So certainly check it out. And you saw our students were having some amazing experiences there. Next, I want to talk to you about our number one goal because it involves you as a student and your success. Again, our number one goal is that when you start your educational journey here at NAU, we want you to complete that degree and do so in a way that you're gathering experiences that'll last you a lifetime. So to enable students to be successful in the classroom, we have a number of support systems. They are all listed on your screen. And a little different than some other institutions, our career advising and tutoring services are all free for all students, which is really important to take note of. We have a number of students that work not only on campus, but around the surrounding community. And that's where Handshake comes into play. Students can upload a resume, even do mock interviews and get help with that cover letter for applying for jobs while they're in college or that first job right after they earn their degree. Our PeerJacks, mentoring programs, and supplemental instruction help to ensure your success in the classroom and get you connected out of the classroom. Because so much of that is about your social fit, as Chad mentioned earlier. One of the biggest mistakes our new students make is not utilizing these services fast enough. So they wait until they get that first midterm grade, and maybe it isn't as easy and studying isn't as easy as they thought it would be. And so they wait until that point in the semester. Don't wait. Take advantage those study groups, and even now that they're meeting remotely on Zoom and in lots of different creative ways, take advantage. Don't just take my word for it, though. Here's a couple of our renowned faculty members to give you their little nuggets of advice. Let's take a look.
Some general advice for students: don't obsess about your grades. Your grades do not define who you are. Instead, maybe obsess about learning how to learn. If you can develop that, the grades will come.
One piece of advice that I could give to NAU students to be successful would be to learn what an informational interview is and to conduct as many of those as you possibly can.
There are so many different classes and subjects and topics. Sometimes we get focused on one particular path and don't realize that there are so many other things to explore.
If you just work hard, you really work hard, everything else tends to take care of itself. And I really believe that, and I've done that in my life, and it's worked for me.
Put all these deadlines and due dates in your smartphone or whatever else you use to organize yourself, but also schedule time for friends, to go outside, and definitely set a time to go to bed and sleep.
My best advice for students is to communicate with your professors. The more you communicate with us, the better we can communicate with you.
One of the first things you'll see as you come here as a student is that everybody wants to eat up your time because they're hungry for it. You got to defend your space, you got to defend your time, you got to defend a sense of who you are.
Great advice from our faculty. So we mentioned at the beginning the different types of fit. So we kind of first touched on the academic fit, and if you see that yourself fitting in here at NAU. Next up, we're going to talk about the social fit before finally touching on the financial fit thing. So transitioning to the social fit, one of the big parts of fit is the city you live in, right? So Flagstaff, as a college town, I feel lucky to be calling Flagstaff home for the last 12 years. We are much different than the rest of Arizona in many ways. I'm a Minnesota native, and I thought all of Arizona was desert and cactus and really hot. We're in the mountains at 7,000 feet elevation, so we do get all 4 seasons, get a decent amount of snow, but lots of sunshine as well. We are the world's first international dark sky city as well, and with that, we have regulations around light pollution, and the stargazing here is absolutely amazing. The Huffington Post actually named us the best city in the world for stargazing. So while you're here in Flagstaff and at NAU, make sure you're looking up at those night skies. It is absolutely beautiful. Also, outside of the Flagstaff area, lots to explore, and I certainly encourage our students to do so. Many national parks and monuments, just a short drive away from campus. So get out, explore those. Also within the city, our Flagstaff Urban Trail System, which during this time of social distancing, I have certainly utilized those. Most every night after work, I will get out and explore one of those trails around my community and around town and campus. Lots of opportunities to get outside. With those outside opportunities, certainly we utilize that for our classroom, and many of our classes take place outside, but also recreation as well too. And we're gonna take a look at some of our students checking out Chocolate Falls.
Exploration is traveling to a place to learn about it. Here in northern Arizona, you can find places that take your breath away. These NAU hikes give me a sense of discovery, of a place where I belong. Find your place at Northern Arizona University.
So great to look at those Chocolate Falls as just one of the countless areas to explore in the northern part of the state here. And mentioning those urban trails, I've lived here for almost 25 years and found a whole new part of the urban trail the other day while I was out and about on my mountain bike. So just when you think you've seen it all, you find a new section to explore. So exciting to be able to do that. Certainly, being part of a campus community is living in that community. And most of our new first-year students do choose to live on campus. We don't require it, but in any given year, 90% of our new first-year students do choose to live in our campus residential halls. It is a 2-step process. So once you apply and you're admitted to NAU as an institution, and let us know that you plan to be a lumberjack with us, we ask that you apply for housing. And we do that because we organize our residence halls into residential colleges. So you heard Dean Gustafson talk about the Honors Residential College for our honors students. We have residential colleges and organize those by major throughout campus. So for example, if you're a business major, you'll be housed with other business majors. We know this helps with the student success in getting connected, not only in the classroom, but out of the classroom as well. We also have a number of different housing options for transfer students and families as well. So tremendous amount of opportunities there. So we know in this virtual environment, you don't get to join us on campus and see inside a residence hall. So Carolina's here to do that for us in the next video.
Hi guys, I'm Carolina. I'm a senior here at NAU. My major is Communication Science and Disorders. I'm going to be a third-year RA in Gabaldon next year, so today I'm just going to be taking you on a room tour. Cool, so to start off, we're going to start talking about the beds here. All of the beds are loftable and bunkable, and you can adjust them for storage. So it takes about 2 or 3 people to adjust the bed, just so you're aware. Moving on, each student in this space has their own desk, and then they also have their own drawer space in the room, as you can see. So each room comes with their own closets for each student, so there's a lot of space for clothing and other valuables. So each room also comes with their own fridge. It's pretty spacious, so just like be courteous to your roommate and just talk about that things, communicate. NAU has their own virtual reality that you can go on to the NAU website. It's very specific to the room that you're staying in, so just go look that up to see kind of like how your room is set up, and then you'll be ready for move-in day.
So I want to make mention that none of our residence hall rooms where residents live have glass doors. We have that glass door on that room because it is our showroom that we show when students come to visit us. So I did want to make note of that. I also wanted you to make note of that those refrigerators are fully capable of housing full half-gallon ice cream containers. Another favorite of mine.
That's an important insight there. Yes, good to know.
It's critical. It's not like one of those little tiny refrigerators where you can't do that. Speaking of food, next is our on-campus dining options. Most of our students have and enjoy one or all of their meals on campus. We have over 25 different retail locations and 2 all-you-care-to-eat dining facilities. Certainly today those are spread out, and we've even included some outdoor dining spaces in many of those. But if you didn't want to go to one of those places, you could use one of the Starship food delivery robots. And as I was on my walkabout around campus today, during lunchtime, I was witnessed to 4 robots as I was walking on the trail delivering food to students right during lunchtime. So
the robots are working very hard right now. Yes.
the robots are working extremely hard right now. As I mentioned, there's a number of meal plans to choose from and dining dollars, and even as a staff member, we choose one of those plans. So we can enjoy whether it's Einstein's or coffee at Starbucks or in our $18.99 bar and grill, which you see there on the screen. But don't take my word for it. Corbin's going to share with you a couple of his favorites. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, I'm Corbin, just outside of our University Union, where a lot of different dining options are here for students. Here at NAU, we've got 27 different dining options, ranging from Chick-fil-A and Denny's to Einstein Bros Bagels and Jamba Juice, and anything in between a student can find their liking here on campus. My personal favorite is called the Green Scene. It's on the 3rd floor of the HLC, so once you're here at NAU, definitely come check it out.
Thank you, Corbin. Another important thing we want to talk about now is transportation. Getting around campus, getting to and from campus is certainly a common question that we get. You do not need a car on campus, and a lot of transportation that we have in terms of our campus buses to get around. We're bicycle friendly as a campus, and we even have our free yellow bike program where you can rent a bike for a couple weeks at a time and utilize that to get around campus and get around the Flagstaff community. Also pictured on this slide is our city bus line, that blue bus that you see there, and that cuts through campus and will take you downtown and take you to shopping off campus. As far as the getting to and from campus piece, we're about 2 hours from Phoenix, and there is a shuttle that you can take. A private company operates a shuttle system that you can take from the Phoenix airport to Flagstaff and get dropped right off on campus. So that's certainly an option. We do have a Flagstaff airport as well. From Flagstaff, you can fly down to Phoenix to connect. You can fly to Denver, Colorado, as well as Dallas, Texas. So that's a common question we get. Families want to know how their students going to get to and from campus and get home on the holidays. So those are some of those options for you.
Campus safety is one of our major concerns here on campus, and today that means something quite different than it did even a few short months ago. We want to make sure all students are safe, so that's why we lock our residence halls, and students that live in that residence hall use their JAX card or their student ID card to gain access to those halls. One of the most exciting things that I look at almost every day, because there's new things being added, is our new NAU Safe app. And parents, I did want to make mention that you can download this app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store as well, and program it so it gives you the updates for your student-specific campus. On that app, students can track their friends to know when they're going to arrive, maybe if they're meeting at the library or grabbing a cup of coffee or food together. They can also report a crime tip if they saw something on campus or around campus. And if they're at the library studying late at night and they're by themselves and they'd like another student to safely socially distance, walk them back to their residence hall, they can request that on that app as well. It's really the one-stop shop or app for all of campus safety needs. So again, parents, you can definitely download this as well. Next, no matter how you identify or the culture you're a part of, there's a place for you here at NAU. From our Native American Cultural Center, one of my very favorite spots on campus, to our student veteran services and disability resources, just to name a few. Our Office of Inclusion has been hosting diversity dialogues all summer long to really help everyone on campus understand the importance of acceptance and respect in this very tumultuous time that we've experienced in the last couple months. We want you to feel at home here at the university and are open to feedback and experiences and are hopeful to share those across the campus community.
So clubs and organizations are something that I would highly encourage students to get involved with. Right now, we've got over 400 clubs and organizations, and that number has gone up every year I've been here for the 12 years I've been at NAU.
You know what's crazy, too, is that those clubs and organizations, even during this socially distanced time where they haven't been able to host the big celebrations and meetings that they've been used to, have come up with some tremendously creative way to stay connected.
Absolutely. And we've got, within those clubs and organizations, sports clubs, you've got fraternity, sorority life, if those are things that are of interest to you, political-based, faith-based, all kinds of clubs and organizations. And if you come here and you realize that you don't find the right club or organization within those 400 plus, you, a handful of your friends, and then a faculty or staff advisor can create a new club or organization. And Sun Entertainment, we're always bringing entertainment here to campus, movies, concerts, guest lecturers here. Certainly we're getting creative in this time of social distancing to be able to still provide entertainment opportunities for our students. You'll see a picture there of our dive-in movies. That's a pre-COVID time, doing the dive-in movies in our Olympic-sized swimming pool.
I know they did a drive-in one, though, I think this fall a couple times already.
You're right, Yep. So athletics is certainly a part of that college experience, cheering on your fellow Lumberjacks. We are NCAA Division I for our college athletics. Every student with your ID get in free to all the athletic events. We are traditionally very strong in those distance endurance type sports. Being at 7,000 feet elevation, we've got Olympians coming from all around the world to train. And our men's cross country team, certainly a point of pride for us. They won 3 straight national titles. And our women's swimming and diving team, which competes in the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference, has won 7 straight WAC titles now. I absolutely love, though, our student athletes get it done not only on the court, on the field, in the pool, but in the classroom, in the community as well. And I want to give you the opportunity to hear from one of our student athletes. So let's throw it to DJ.
It's all the classes, it's all the practices. I mean, there's so many points where I really wanted to give up. You know, it was so hard. I just constantly remember my parents saying, if it's too easy, you know, you're not going to get anything out of it. I can attribute 100% of my success to my parents. Well, my father and I, we both blood, sweat, and tears on the same field. Without NAU, I don't think that I would have the opportunities that I could have in the future. It's really built me and molded me into what I am now. My name is DJ Arnson. I'm a biomedical science major and chemistry minor, and I'm a lumberjack.
So as Chad mentioned earlier, there are really 3 types of fit we want to make sure you as a family consider prior to going to any institution. So academic fit, social fit, and the third being financial fit. We know that college is a significant investment for the student and the whole family, and we do our best to make sure those costs are predictable. So what you see on the screen are 3 different tuition rates. One for the residents of Arizona, one for our non-residents, and one for WUE students, W-U-E. And what that stands for is Western Undergraduate Exchange, which I'm going to explain in just a moment. What you see on the right side of your screen are those additional costs. So not things that are necessarily paid to the university, depending on where you choose to live, but things that you need to take into consideration as you're considering the whole cost picture prior to attending any institution. So books and supplies, for example. We know that there are books and supplies that students need each and every term they're enrolled. Sometimes those books and supplies are less, and sometimes they might be a little more depending on your major and if there's resources to gather online, etc. A number of our faculty really work hard to make sure that those things are quite reasonable for students. But things you need to take into account. Now let's get back to that WUE tuition rate. If you reside in one of the yellow highlighted territories or states on your screen, once you're admitted to NAU, you will automatically qualify for that WUE tuition rate. And you see that tuition rate of our current academic year on the screen. All of our tuition rates will be set in mid to late spring by the Arizona Board of Regents. So we will update that information on our websites and our publications, as well as on our slides that we're sharing with you when that information becomes available. Important to note here, a number of institutions treat WUE as a scholarship, so an additional application. We do not. You will automatically get this tuition rate once you're admitted to NAU to the Flagstaff campus.
So to help with those costs, we have several different scholarship opportunities. And the first one I want to talk about is the top scholarship that we give to our Arizona resident students. We're going to be looking at for a 3.5 or above unweighted core GPA to qualify for the Lumberjack Scholars Award. And we're going to show you the core courses in just a moment, so you'll have an understanding, but it's 16 core courses that we look at for admissions and also utilize for scholarship purposes as well. Also within those 16 core courses, we're looking for no letter grade lower than a B and also no deficiencies in any of those 16 core courses, meaning you took all 16 of those. This is just looking at those courses and the GPA, so ACT scores and SAT scores are not needed for that. And this award is up to full tuition. We have some additional awards as well, which you're seeing on the screen now. For our Arizona residents, for our WUE, those Western Undergraduate Exchange students, and for our true non-residents. Again, we're looking at the unweighted core GPA calculated off of those 16 core courses. And you can see the different levels there that you can be awarded. Want to draw your attention to that test scores are not needed for these scholarships. And I know many students, because of the pandemic, maybe their test taking plan was interrupted. Know that you can still be admitted and you also can be considered for scholarships without test scores. That being said, if you have a test score, send it our way. It can only help you. Test scores will never hurt you. So if you have one, certainly report that when you are applying.
So Chad mentioned those 16 core courses, and that is what you see listed here on the screen. Those 4 years of English, 4 of math, 3 of lab science, 2 years of social science, with one of those being U.S. American history, 2 years of the same second language, and 1 year of art or CTE. And so that's career and technical education. So lots that can fall under that area as well. As Chad mentioned, test scores are completely optional for you. You don't need them to get admitted to the institution, but as Chad mentioned, they can only help you. So want to make note of that. And if you haven't yet applied to NAU, you can do so simply by going to nau.edu/apply. Now, we know a number of you that registered with us today have already been admitted to the university. Congratulations. Chad's going to talk through what the next steps are going to be for you to take to secure your spot.
Absolutely. So again, I want to echo Annika's congratulations. Those of you that have applied and been admitted to the institution, that's NAU's way of saying yes to you. Your way of saying yes to NAU is by paying that enrollment deposit. So you'll go nau.edu/acceptmyoffer and pay your enrollment deposit there, $250, to then confirm your spot for this upcoming class. After you've done that, it's going to open up the option for you to do some additional steps. So if you are choosing to live on campus, that housing application will be open this fall, completing priority enrollment, which begins that communication with your academic advisor about exactly confirming what major you want to take, and maybe if you took some AP coursework ahead of time or some college coursework ahead of time, you could report that in there. And then you'll also register for orientation. Now, this last summer, we did have to pivot to a virtual orientation experience, and certainly we'll be assessing that, but there will be some sort of orientation experience for you as a student.
And for families as well.
Absolutely.
We know this transition to college is significant, certainly for all of you students, but also for you parents and guardians and family members as well. So we do offer an orientation, and that's really what that $250 enrollment deposit covers. So there's no additional charges for students or guests to attend and experience that amazing orientation.
Yep, absolutely. And if you're not sure what list of things you need to do, nau.edu/next steps is going to be the listing of what you need to do. It's been great telling you about NAU. Hopefully, you've got a sense of if we might be the right fit for you, but there's no better way to find out if we're the right fit than to hear from some more actual students. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to wipe down the set here and invite up a couple of our students to join us here and answer some of the questions that you've been emailing in.
Great. Thanks so much. Go Lumberjacks.
Go Lumberjacks.
Go Jacks!
This is Northern Arizona University. It's the one with the mountains, the pines, the dome, the Lumberjacks. It's the one on the Mother Road with 100 years of tradition, which looks like this, that, or this. A unique place where you can learn here or here.
It's really beautiful, I love it.
It's a community that cares, because that's what Lumberjacks are. See, NAU helps people who can look at microorganisms and see global impacts. People who understand helping one person walk moves us all forward. That opportunity is the only thing that can limit achievement. Lumberjacks stand together, passing traditions onto the next generation, sharing the stuff we love, the moments we remember. It's the pride that shapes the university, that shapes us. This is Northern Arizona University. We are proud, we are loyal, we are Lumberjacks.
Welcome back. As promised, we've got a student panel here. We've brought a couple of our real live NAU students here to answer some of the questions that you've been sending in to us. And as always, lots of great questions. And my team was compiling some of the different themes and questions that have come in. But first of all, we want to have an opportunity to meet the students joining us here on panel today. So let's start off, Stephen, if you can introduce yourself first.
Hello there. My name is Steven. I am a junior here at NAU studying mechanical engineering. I am from the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, and my preferred pronouns are he, him, his.
Hi, my name is Mary Jane. I'm a senior here at NAU. My major is environmental sustainability with a minor in photography, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
Great. Thanks for joining us, and I'm going to jump right into the questions. We've got a handful of questions we want to get through here. And the first question is kind of around campus employment and finding jobs on campus, how that works. Stephen, can you start us off answering that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as a student ambassador myself, I did receive this job and everything. And I did it through Handshake, and we have plenty of opportunities for students to apply on campus. In fact, 90% of our on-campus workers are student workers. And with that in mind, you can apply through Handshake, and you can also go to the Office of Career Development to help with interview processes and things like that.
Okay. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit more about what Handshake is, Mary Jane?
Yeah, so Handshake is a website and essentially has all internships, job opportunities, any available paid positions on campus or volunteer opportunities that you can sign up for. And once you apply, you can apply to many at once. And it's a super helpful tool just to have access to all of those and see all your opportunities here on campus.
And I know I always highly recommend that if a student's looking for a campus or a job while they're going to school, I recommend campus jobs. One of those reasons, the employer understands you're a student first and they're going to work with you as a student. There's jobs within the community, but that's certainly a benefit of those on-campus jobs. I like this question here. What's something that you brought with you as a freshman, first-year student, that you didn't need, that you wished maybe you hadn't brought with? And I'm actually going to add to their question and ask if there's something that you are so glad you brought or would recommend anyone bring with them as a student. And going to start over on the other end, actually. Mary Jane, if you want to kick us off.
I'd say something I brought that I didn't need would be more decorations than I needed, but definitely what I brought that was most useful was a pair of boots because it does snow, it does rain, and it helps keep you warm. Definitely recommend, and also if there's ice, it gives you a lot of good traction so you don't slip and fall. So definitely would recommend that.
Something that I brought that I certainly didn't need was a printer, although it is very useful. There are plenty of printers around campus, especially in the library. And with that in mind, printing on campus is probably going to be much cheaper for you, considering that there's going to be a lot of free pages that the NAU student government offers. And in addition, each page is 5 cents versus buying a whole printer. But something that I brought that I'm glad I brought was winter boots because I don't really like slipping and sliding on my way to class.
So we got two votes for boots here for something to make sure that you are bringing with you, which segues nicely to this next question here. I'm from Phoenix. What do I need to bring to Flagstaff for colder weather? So we talked about boots already a little bit. Anything else we'd add to that answer, Stephen, if you want to kick us off?
Personally, I would recommend for all of my Phoenix people out there is these things called neck gaiters. It's very similar to the one I'm wearing, but with a little more fluff, especially considering the wind that you might get here and there, even without the snow. It might really chill down your face. So, of course, these things really help keep you warm.
I would definitely recommend layers, whether that be like different sweaters, layers like that, or also things to put under your jeans and things so you keep warm all the way around. And thick socks, definitely recommend.
All good advice there. As a Minnesota native, I don't think we get winter here, but I know those folks joining from Phoenix and elsewhere certainly appreciate that advice. Next question here, how can I meet with my professor? So if you maybe have a question or want to connect with your professor. Mary Jane, do you want to start us off there?
Yeah, so I'd say there's a few ways to connect. What I would recommend is talking to them like after class or also emailing them and reaching out and asking them when's a good time to meet with them. You can also always email the TA if the professor's not available for you as well.
And the TA, so acronym,
the teacher's assistant.
Yep.
Yes.
We love our acronyms here in higher ed.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yep, absolutely.
But yes, the teacher's assistants do help with the class and will give you advice on different things. So they're also an extra resource for that.
Anything to add to that, Stephen?
What I would personally recommend, if possible, I know everybody has different schedules, but try and get involved in any clubs that the professor might be a sort of advisor for and everything. That way so that they actually know you, so it's not like, wait a minute, who are you again? Because, of course, for some classes, some professors might have 100 students or more.
Great advice, and certainly accessible to students if they need to meet with their professor. All right, here, kind of a Flagstaff campus type question. What's there to do on a weekend on campus or in Flagstaff? Stephen? Yep.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of things to do if you're a very outdoorsy person. Flagstaff and Northern Arizona as a whole is the right place for you. We're about a half hour away from Sedona. We're about 40 minutes to an hour away from the Grand Canyon, so you could always do a day trip, and there's plenty of other places for scenery in that regard. So there's a lot of outdoors, things of the like.
I feel like on campus, there's a lot of places where you can sit outside, do hammock, do homework, just sit out and hang out with friends. But also we have downtown Flagstaff, which I really enjoy. There's a lot of restaurants, different shopping places, a lot of dessert places too, which I like.
And then certainly lots of on-campus activities too that our Student Affairs Office and other offices organize as well too would be some other options there too on campus. So we always get some sort of car question, and usually it's if I need a car or not. This question is, if I don't have a car, how can I get home for breaks?
Yeah.
Mary Jane, you want to answer that?
So what I have done in the past is I've used a rideshare app, and essentially you can do that like through the AZ shuttle, but you can also do it through Facebook pages, and people will be going to the same place you're going, and you'll just pay them for that ride. Or also you can carpool with your roommates, anything like that. I would just recommend asking people if they're going home the same time you are, and you can just carpool that.
Any other advice to that, or?
Make friends with people who have cars.
Good advice. And Mary Jane hinted at, but there are some private shuttle companies that do give rides down to Phoenix, down to Tucson, taking you to the airport if you're trying to catch a flight out of the airport. And here in for our out-of-state students in Flagstaff, the Flagstaff Airport does have flights, and it's close to campus. And that one you can currently go to Dallas, Texas, Denver, or down to Phoenix to connect to elsewhere in the country. Have either of you changed your major? I'm seeing nods and a hand raised, so I take that sort of as a yes. So Stephen?
Yeah, so I switched my major from creative media and film to astronomy and physics to mechanical engineering. Yes, I know, quite a 180. But, you know, it's quite natural to change your major at any college, really. After all, you know, it's hard to plan out what you're going to do for the next 5 decades of your life. But as long as you change your major before your junior year, you should be good to go and everything on that. But you know, it's not the end of the world if you do, if you don't start with the same major that you did or that you initially started with.
So my first semester I actually changed it from environmental science to sustainability, which is in the same sort of realm, but I wanted a different part of the sciences. And then my junior year, I added photography as a minor. So you can definitely add something later on if it's not too many classes. And if you want to finish in time, I would recommend adding it sooner rather than later.
Great, but certainly normal to not know what you want to study. I think that's really common. The most common major coming in is actually exploratory, where students are still deciding on what major. And I know we've got a colleague in our office that I think she changed her major 5 times, maybe 6 times, and actually finished in 4 years. So certainly normal to be exploring and helping decide that. So kind of a question in the medical realm. What types of medical and mental health services are available on campus? And Stephen, if you want to start us off on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So to start off, we do have our own campus health center, where basically they accept 5 different forms of insurance. And we also have our Louis Care system, where it's $130 with a $10 copay, just in case you have an insurance that isn't accepted. And they do all kinds of things, from basic checkups all the way to x-rays.
And we also have a lot of mental health resources. So we have counseling, individual counseling, group counseling, couples counseling, anything of that sort. And we also have an office that does like stress busters. So if you're feeling stressed, they have activities for students to like decompress a little bit and like have time away from doing their homework and studies.
I think one of my favorite one is when they bring in all the dogs that you can
I
pet.
love that
Yes,
one.
that's certainly one of my favorites here on campus. So talking about being successful in the classroom, and kind of what advice do you have, or what have you done to be successful in the classroom and with your studies? Stephen?
So what a lot of people say is to get a planner. My personal recommendation is to get one of those paper calendars or a whiteboard calendar. That way so you can see a lot of your assignments long term. And definitely, as mentioned before, trying to get in touch with your professors as well as any friends that you might have in the class. That way so you can sort of bounce off of them a little bit.
And I would definitely recommend forming connections with people in your class. Maybe you don't even know them, but having like a group chat where you can like talk about assignments, ask each other for help, and just like figure out what you need to do is really helpful in the long run.
So that brings us to our last question, and one of my favorite questions to ask always is, why did you choose NAU? So Mary Jane, if you want to start us off.
I chose NAU because I visited for the first time in high school, and I really enjoyed the nature aspect of NAU. It's very different from Phoenix, as well as everyone was so friendly, and I just felt very welcomed on campus, even though I wasn't even coming here yet. And I was like, this seems like a really cool school that I can attend that's not too far away from home, but is somewhere where I can feel comfortable.
As an Arizona resident, NAU offered me the perfect thing, which was an out-of-state feel with an in-state price tag. Also, for all of the Arizona residents out there, I had access to the Lumberjack scholarship, which was too good of a deal to reject. And of course, I do love hot weather, so coming down here and facing cold weather was a perfect challenge for me.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Stephen and Mary Jane. Really appreciate all the great questions that came in. Certainly we didn't get to all of them, but we're resources for you to help answer those questions. So feel free to email us at admissions@nau.edu if you've got other questions that came up. Maybe this spurred some other questions for you. Annika and I are going to come back on set in a moment here. We're going to wipe down the set, but we've got a quick video for you to check out while we're coming back on set. But thanks again for joining us and giving us the student perspective. Stay tuned.
Thank you for having us.
What we're trying to figure out is relationships between communities of microbes that live in mammal guts and Alzheimer's symptoms. Being able to possibly reduce patients and family suffering by learning more about the disease mechanisms would be tremendously satisfying. My name's Chris, and I'm a lumberjack.
Thank you again for joining us for this morning's Discover NAU. Remember, we like those 3 types of fit: academic, social, and financial. And your student success is our #1 priority. We know we presented a lot of information, so if you want to review any of the videos or visit us virtually, you can do so at nau.edu/virtual. A ton more videos from our students, faculty, and other team members to help you understand if NAU could be the right fit for you. Regardless, we wish you the best of luck in a successful academic year, and thank you again for joining us.
Absolutely. And if you've got individual questions, certainly reach out on email, admissions@nau.edu. And also, we are willing to schedule individual appointments with you, be it over Zoom or over the phone. And you can do that by emailing admissions.appointment@nau.edu. And we're happy to sit down virtually with you as a family and talk through any of those things that can help determine if NAU is that right fit for you. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be healthy, and we hope to see many of you on campus in the future. Go Lumberjacks!